Naomi's hands trembled as she stood at the gates of the Blackwood mansion. The iron gates were taller than she expected, and the cameras watching her felt like eyes. This wasn't just a house. It was the kind of place that swallowed people whole. Naomi took a slow breath, forcing her legs to move forward. Before we dive in, let us know in the comments where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. It wasn't just big. It was the kind of place that looked like it didn't belong to the real world. Glass walls, marble floors, a driveway long enough to swallow a whole neighborhood. Naomi clutched her small bag tightly, trying to calm her breathing. This wasn't her first job. It was her third, and she didn't have the luxury of fear. She had bills, hunger, and a younger sibling waiting at home. The head housekeeper, Mrs. Whitmore, opened the door and looked Naomi up and down like she was scanning a barcode. "Uniform first. Then you work," she said. Naomi nodded. "Yes, ma'am." The moment she stepped inside, the air felt expensive. Not warm, not welcoming, just expensive. Naomi had barely finished changing when she heard heels. Sharp, fast, angry. A woman walked in like she owned the mansion. Vanessa. She was dressed like a magazine cover. Perfect hair, perfect face, perfect smile. But her eyes were cold. Vanessa glanced at Naomi and laughed under her breath. "Oh," she said. "They hired a new one." Naomi lowered her head respectfully. "Good evening, ma'am." Vanessa stepped closer, slowly circling Naomi like she was an object. "What's your name?" "Naomi." Vanessa smiled wider. "Naomi, do you know what your job is?" "To clean, ma'am." "No," Vanessa said softly. "Your job is to be invisible." Naomi swallowed. Then Vanessa leaned in and whispered, "Because if you ever make my boyfriend notice you." Vanessa's voice dropped into something darker. "I will ruin you." Naomi's heart pounded. Before she could respond, a deep voice cut through the hallway. "Vanessa." The entire mansion felt like it went silent. Naomi looked up, and that's when she saw him for the first time. Adrian Blackwood. Tall, sharp suit, expression like stone, 30 years old, a billionaire, and the kind of man who looked like he never smiled, not even as a child. He looked at Naomi for half a second. Then he looked away. "Stop wasting time," he said. "The house needs to be ready." Vanessa's face instantly softened. "Of course, baby." She turned to Naomi and smirked. "Welcome to hell." Naomi stood there, frozen, and she didn't know it yet. But this job would either destroy her or change her life forever. That night, Naomi heard Vanessa say something shocking behind a closed door. Naomi's heart slammed against her ribs. Adrian stood behind her, silent. She didn't even hear him walk up. He stared at her like she was a problem he hadn't decided how to solve. Naomi lowered her head quickly. "I'm sorry, sir. I didn't mean to." Adrian's voice was calm. "How long were you standing there?" Naomi swallowed. "Only a moment." Adrian's eyes narrowed. "Did you hear anything?" Naomi hesitated. She could lie, but something about Adrian's gaze made lying feel impossible. Naomi whispered, "I heard. Miss Vanessa." Adrian didn't react. He stepped closer. His voice lowered. "And?" Naomi's throat tightened. She sounded angry. Adrian stared at her. Then he said something Naomi didn't expect. "Good." Naomi blinked. "Sir." Adrian's jaw tightened. She should be angry. Naomi didn't understand. Adrian turned away. "Go back to work." Naomi nodded quickly, but her hands shook for the rest of the night. The next morning, Naomi learned the true rules of the mansion. The staff moved like shadows. No laughing, no talking, no mistakes, because Adrian hated mistakes, and Vanessa punished them. Naomi was polishing the dining table when Vanessa walked in holding red wine. She smiled sweetly, then tipped the glass over. The wine spilled across the white marble. Naomi gasped. "Oh no." Vanessa pointed. "Clean it." Naomi dropped to her knees immediately. She wiped quickly, but Vanessa didn't leave. She watched, like she enjoyed it. Vanessa crouched slightly. "You know what's funny?" she whispered. Naomi didn't answer. Vanessa continued. "Girls like you always pretend you don't want rich men." She leaned in. "But you do." Naomi whispered. "I don't." Vanessa smiled. "Oh, you will." Naomi's stomach turned. Vanessa stood up and stepped away. But then she turned back. "And Naomi?" Naomi looked up. Vanessa smiled sweetly. "Don't ever forget your place." Naomi lowered her head. "Yes, ma'am." Later that afternoon, Naomi entered the library to clean. She didn't expect Adrian to be there. But he was. Alone. He sat behind a desk, reading. Naomi tried to leave quietly. Adrian's voice stopped her. Come here. Naomi's heart jumped. She walked closer, careful. Yes, sir. Adrian didn't look up. How old are you? Naomi hesitated. 25. Adrian finally lifted his eyes. And Naomi felt pinned. His gaze wasn't flirtatious. It was intense. You have more than one job, Adrian said. Naomi blinked. I'm sorry. Adrian's eyes flicked to her wrist. Naomi instinctively pulled her sleeve down. Adrian's voice lowered. You're exhausted. But you don't complain. Naomi didn't know what to say. Adrian stared at her a second longer. Then he looked away again. Leave. Naomi left quickly. But as she walked out, Vanessa stood at the end of the hallway, watching. Her smile was small, but cruel. Naomi's stomach dropped. Vanessa walked toward her and whispered, You think he's interested in you? Naomi shook her head. Vanessa leaned closer. He's not. Vanessa smiled. He's just deciding how to break you. Naomi's chest tightened. Vanessa walked away, and Naomi realized something terrifying. Adrian and Vanessa were both dangerous, just in different ways. That night, Naomi finds a torn photo in the trash, and it's a photo of Adrian's mother. That night, Naomi was taking out trash when she saw it. A torn photo. She picked it up. Her hands trembled. It was Adrian's mother. Naomi recognized her instantly, because Naomi had seen her face in the locket. Naomi's stomach tightened. Who would throw this away? Then Naomi heard Vanessa's voice behind her. Put that down. Naomi turned. Vanessa stood there, arms crossed. Naomi swallowed. I found it in the trash, ma'am. Vanessa walked closer. And for the first time, Vanessa's smile wasn't fake. It was ugly. You know what Adrian hates? Naomi didn't answer. Vanessa leaned in. He hates his mother. Naomi's eyes widened. Vanessa continued. Because she left him. Naomi whispered. That's not true. Vanessa froze. What did you say? Naomi's heart pounded. I said that's not true. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. How would you know? Naomi swallowed. Vanessa stepped closer. You've been listening. Watching. Collecting pieces. Naomi shook her head. No, I haven't. Vanessa suddenly grabbed Naomi's wrist hard. Naomi cried out. Vanessa hissed. You're going to quit tomorrow. Naomi shook her head. I can't. Vanessa's grip tightened. Then you'll learn what happens to girls who don't obey. Naomi tried to pull away. Vanessa shoved her into the wall. Naomi gasped. Vanessa's voice turned low. You don't know who you're dealing with. Naomi's eyes filled with tears. I don't want him. Vanessa laughed. You don't get to choose. Then, slap. The sound echoed. Naomi stumbled. Her cheek burned. Her eyes watered. Vanessa whispered. Adrian is mine. The door opened. Adrian's voice thundered. Vanessa. Vanessa turned instantly, smile returning. Oh, baby. Adrian walked in slowly. His eyes locked on Naomi's red cheek. Then he looked at Vanessa. His voice was calm. Too calm. Did you hit her? Vanessa laughed. She's a maid. She needs discipline. Adrian stepped closer. Vanessa's smile faltered. Adrian leaned in. Touch her again. His voice dropped into something deadly. And you will leave this house with nothing. Vanessa blinked. You're joking. Adrian didn't blink. Vanessa's voice rose. You can't pick a maid over me. Adrian stared at her like she disgusted him. Then he said the words that shattered everything. Pack your things. Vanessa froze. Naomi couldn't breathe. Vanessa's eyes turned toward Naomi. And she smiled. A terrifying smile. Congratulations, Vanessa whispered. You just ruined your life. Vanessa stormed out. Naomi stood shaking. Adrian looked at Naomi. His voice was low. Are you okay? Naomi nodded, even though she wasn't. Adrian stared at her cheek. Then he said quietly, I saw the bruise on your wrist before. Naomi froze. Adrian's eyes darkened. Who else touches you? Naomi whispered. No one. Adrian's jaw clenched. Liar. Naomi's breath caught. Adrian turned away. Then he said, Go rest. Naomi nodded and left. But when she entered her room, she found something on her bed. A gift bag. With a note. Naomi opened it. Inside was a new phone. And the note said, If anyone threatens you again, call me. Adrian. Naomi's heart pounded. But the fear didn't leave. Because she knew. Vanessa wasn't finished. Naomi's new phone lights up with a message from an unknown number. Don't get comfortable. Naomi stared at the message until her eyes blurred. Don't get comfortable. Her throat tightened. She wanted to believe Adrian would protect her. But Vanessa had money, connections, and a mind built for cruelty. Naomi tried to sleep. But she couldn't. because every sound felt like danger. The next day, Naomi worked quietly. No mistakes, no eye contact, no breathing too loudly. But in the afternoon, she was called to Adrian's office. Mr. Cole stood outside. His face was unreadable. "Go in," he said. Naomi's heart pounded. She stepped inside. Adrian stood near the window, his hands in his pockets. His posture perfect, but his eyes looked tired. He didn't turn around. "Do you know why I hired you?" Adrian asked. Naomi blinked. "No, sir." Adrian turned slowly. His gaze locked on her. "Because my mother trusted your aunt." Naomi froze. Adrian continued. "I didn't know you existed." Naomi swallowed. "I wasn't supposed to be here." Adrian's jaw tightened. "But you are." Naomi's hands trembled. Adrian stepped closer. "Show me the locket." Naomi hesitated. Then she pulled it out. Adrian took it carefully, like it could break him. He opened it again. His eyes softened slightly. "She looks happy," he whispered. Naomi nodded. "She was happy when she was with you." Adrian's eyes darkened. "She left." Naomi shook her head. "No, she didn't." Adrian's gaze snapped to Naomi. Naomi's voice shook. "She tried to come back. She died trying." Adrian's jaw clenched. His voice turned sharp. "Prove it." Naomi swallowed. "She wrote a letter." Adrian froze. "A letter?" Naomi nodded. "My aunt kept it. She told me to give it to you when the time was right." Adrian stared at Naomi like he couldn't breathe. Then his voice dropped. "Bring it." Naomi nodded. "I will." Adrian handed her back the locket, but his fingers brushed hers. And Naomi felt something electric. She pulled away quickly. Adrian noticed. His eyes narrowed slightly. Then he looked away. "Go." Naomi turned to leave. But before she reached the door, Adrian spoke again. "Naomi." She stopped. Adrian's voice was quiet. "Thank you." Naomi's heart squeezed. She whispered, "You're welcome." Naomi left. But outside the office, Mrs. Whitmore stood there. She stared at Naomi. Then she said something Naomi didn't expect. "Be careful." Naomi frowned. "Why?" Mrs. Whitmore's eyes hardened. "Because the last woman who tried to soften Adrian." She paused. "Didn't survive." Naomi's blood ran cold. "What do you mean?" Mrs. Whitmore didn't answer. She just walked away. Naomi stood frozen. Because suddenly, this story wasn't just romance. It was something darker. That night, Naomi sees Vanessa's car outside the mansion. Even though Vanessa was kicked out, Naomi stared out the staff window and saw it clearly. Vanessa's car, parked outside the gates. The headlights off, like she was hiding, watching, waiting. Naomi's stomach dropped. She backed away from the window. Her hands shook. She wanted to tell Adrian, but she didn't want to seem paranoid. So she tried to sleep. The next morning, Naomi left early to get the letter. She took the guard escort. But halfway there, Naomi noticed something. The car behind them. It had been behind them since they left. Naomi's heart pounded. She leaned forward. "Is that car following us?" The guard glanced in the mirror. His face tightened. "Yes." Naomi's stomach turned. "Should we stop?" The guard shook his head. "No." The car behind them got closer. Naomi's breathing sped up. Then the guard suddenly swerved. The car behind them sped up. Naomi screamed. The guard hit the gas. They turned sharply into another road. The car behind them followed. Naomi's hands shook. Her mind screamed, "Vanessa." But something felt worse than Vanessa. Because Vanessa didn't do her own dirty work. She hired people. And whoever was in that car looked like they weren't playing. Naomi's phone buzzed. A message. Unknown number. Naomi's blood ran cold. The message said, "You shouldn't have left the house." Naomi's breath caught. Then the guard's radio crackled. A voice came through. "Mr. Cole, turn back. Now." The guard's eyes widened. "Why?" Mr. Cole's voice shook. "Because Vanessa just showed up at the mansion, and she's inside." Naomi froze. "She's inside." Naomi screamed. Mr. Cole's voice lowered. "She's in Adrian's office." Naomi's heart dropped. The guard turned the car around. Naomi's hands shook. Because she knew what Vanessa wanted. She wanted Adrian. And she wanted Naomi gone. But this time, Vanessa wasn't just going to slap her. Vanessa was going to destroy her completely. When Naomi arrived back at the mansion, she ran inside. She sprinted upstairs. She didn't care about rules. She didn't care about being fired. She reached Adrian's office door, and she heard Vanessa's voice. Soft. Cruel. "You really think a maid is going to save you?" Adrian's voice was cold. "What do you want?" Vanessa laughed. "I want what's mine." Naomi pushed the door open. Adrian turned. Vanessa turned. Vanessa's smile widened. Oh, Vanessa said. Perfect timing. Naomi's heart pounded. Vanessa held up a folder. Then she whispered, I know who Naomi really is. Naomi froze. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Vanessa smiled. And I know what her aunt did to your mother. Naomi's blood turned to ice. Because Vanessa had just twisted the truth into a weapon. Vanessa says, Adrian, she's not here to help you. She's here to finish what her family started. Naomi stood frozen in Adrian's office. Vanessa held up a folder like it was a weapon. I know who Naomi really is, Vanessa said, smiling. Adrian's eyes narrowed. Explain. Vanessa walked slowly toward Naomi, like a predator circling prey. You told him your aunt worked for his mother, Vanessa said. Naomi's throat tightened. Vanessa continued. But you forgot one thing. Vanessa turned toward Adrian. Your mother didn't just die. Adrian's jaw clenched. Vanessa's smile widened. She was ruined. Naomi's eyes widened. What? Vanessa snapped her head toward Naomi. Shut up. Naomi flinched. Vanessa opened the folder and pulled out papers. Old papers. Hospital bills. A newspaper clipping. A blurred photo. Vanessa placed them on Adrian's desk. Adrian stared down. His face turned cold. Vanessa leaned in and whispered, Your mother died broke and humiliated. Adrian's fingers tightened. Vanessa pointed at Naomi. And her aunt was the last person seen with her. Naomi's blood turned to ice. That's a lie, Naomi whispered. Vanessa smiled. Oh, then why did your aunt disappear right after? Naomi's voice shook. She didn't disappear. She was scared. Vanessa laughed. Scared of what? Justice. Adrian's eyes flicked to Naomi. And Naomi felt it. That horrible moment where someone you need to trust you starts doubting you. Naomi stepped forward. Adrian, please. My aunt didn't hurt your mother. She tried to help her. Vanessa scoffed. She's lying. Poor people lie for survival. Naomi's hands trembled. Adrian stared at the papers, silent. Then he looked up. His voice was calm. Too calm. Naomi. Naomi's heart pounded. Yes. Adrian asked one question, and it cut deeper than anything. Did you know my mother personally? Naomi swallowed. No. I was a child. Vanessa smirked. Convenient. Naomi's eyes filled with tears. I only know what my aunt told me. Adrian stared at her. Then he said something Naomi didn't expect. Bring the letter. Naomi nodded fast. I will. I promise. Vanessa's eyes narrowed. Oh, Adrian, she purred. Don't you see? Vanessa stepped closer. If she leaves this house, she's not coming back. Naomi's stomach dropped. Adrian's eyes flicked to Vanessa. Vanessa smiled. She's either going to run, or she's going to bring you a fake letter. Naomi's voice broke. I'm not running. Vanessa tilted her head. Then prove it. Adrian's eyes stayed on Naomi. His voice was cold. You have one day. Naomi nodded. One day. Vanessa smiled. Good. Vanessa walked out like she owned the mansion. Naomi stood there, shaking. Adrian didn't move. Naomi whispered, Do you believe her? Adrian's jaw tightened. His voice was quiet. I don't know what to believe. Naomi felt her heart crack. Then Adrian said, But I want to believe you. Naomi's breath caught. And for a moment, that sentence felt like love. The next morning, Naomi tries to leave for the letter, but police are waiting at the gate. The sun wasn't even fully up when Naomi walked toward the gates. 2 guards escorted her. She clutched her bag tight. Her heart pounded, but she forced herself to keep moving. Because this letter was everything. It wasn't just about Adrian's mother. It was about the truth. About healing. About finally ending the poison Vanessa had planted in Adrian's mind. Naomi reached the gate and froze. A police car. Right there. 2 officers stood beside it. Naomi's stomach dropped. The guard stiffened. Naomi whispered, Why are they here? One officer stepped forward. Ma'am, are you Naomi? Naomi's throat tightened. Yes. The officer's expression was neutral. We received a report of theft. Naomi blinked. Theft. The officer pulled out a velvet pouch. Naomi's blood ran cold. Inside were expensive diamonds. Jewelry. The kind Naomi could never afford in 10 lifetimes. The officer said, These items were found in your staff locker. Naomi's knees weakened. No, I didn't. The officer continued. The homeowner is pressing charges. Naomi's breath caught. The homeowner? She whispered. Adrian. Naomi's heart shattered. She looked toward the mansion. Then she screamed. Adrian. The guards held her back. The officer stepped closer. Ma'am, you need to come with us. Naomi's voice shook. Someone put that there? Please, I didn't steal anything. But the officer's face didn't change. Because the world didn't care what Maid said. Naomi felt tears spill. She couldn't go to jail. She had a sibling. She had responsibilities. She had no one. Then a voice cut through the morning air like a blade. Stop. Adrian walked out, dressed in a dark suit. His expression was terrifying. Cold. Controlled. But his eyes were burning. Naomi stared at him. Her voice broke. Adrian. I didn't. Adrian lifted his hand. I know. Naomi froze. Adrian stepped toward the officer. She didn't steal anything. The officer hesitated. Sir, the evidence. Adrian's voice hardened. The evidence is planted. The officer blinked. Naomi's heart pounded. Then Vanessa appeared behind Adrian, wearing white, like an angel, but smiling like a devil. Oh, Adrian, she said sweetly. I didn't want to do this. Naomi's stomach turned. Vanessa stepped closer to the officer. I'm sorry, Vanessa said. But you know how staff can be. Naomi's hands shook. Adrian turned to Vanessa. His voice was low. Did you do this? Vanessa blinked innocently. Do what? Adrian's eyes narrowed. Vanessa smiled. You really think I'd frame her? Adrian stared at her. Then he said something that made Naomi's heart stop. If she's guilty. He looked at Naomi. She's gone forever. Naomi's eyes widened. Adrian, please. Vanessa's smile widened. Naomi realized what Vanessa was doing. She wasn't just framing Naomi. She was testing Adrian to see if he'd choose Naomi or abandon her like he thought his mother did. Naomi whispered, Please. I didn't steal anything. Adrian stared at her. Then he said coldly, Prove it. Naomi froze. Vanessa's eyes gleamed. Because Vanessa knew Naomi couldn't prove it. Not without help. Not without footage. Not without someone powerful on her side. And Naomi was powerless. Adrian orders the entire mansion searched, and Naomi is treated like a criminal in front of the staff. The mansion turned into chaos. Security stormed through the staff corridor. Staff were lined up. Phones checked. Lockers opened. Naomi stood in the center of the hall like a prisoner. Every worker stared at her. Some looked pitying. Others looked disgusted. Mrs. Whitmore stood with her arms crossed, face tight. Naomi couldn't breathe. Vanessa stood nearby, smiling like she was watching entertainment. Adrian watched everything without emotion. But Naomi could feel his eyes on her. Like he was reading her. Like he was trying to decide if she was worth believing. Naomi's chest tightened. Because she had never needed anyone to believe her like she needed Adrian to. Then Mr. Cole rushed in. His face was pale. Sir, he whispered urgently. Adrian's eyes narrowed. What is it? Mr. Cole handed him a tablet. Adrian looked at it, and his entire expression shifted. His jaw tightened. His eyes darkened. He turned slowly toward Vanessa. Vanessa's smile faltered. Adrian's voice came out cold. Vanessa. Vanessa blinked. Yes, baby. Adrian held up the tablet. Security footage. Vanessa froze. Naomi's heart leaped. Mr. Cole spoke loudly, for everyone to hear. We found footage from last night. Miss Vanessa entered the staff corridor. She opened Naomi's locker. She placed the jewelry inside. The hall went dead silent. Vanessa's lips parted. Then she laughed. That's fake. Adrian stepped forward. His voice was deadly calm. Fake. Vanessa's eyes flashed. Adrian turned to the officer. She's the thief. The officer blinked. Sir. Adrian cut him off. I want her removed from my property. Vanessa's face turned red. You can't do this to me. I'm your girlfriend. Adrian stared at her. And for the first time, his voice rose. You hit my staff. You humiliate them. You frame them. He stepped closer. And you think you're untouchable. Vanessa screamed. Because you made me that way. Everyone froze. Vanessa pointed at Adrian, shaking. You made me cruel. You made me jealous. You made me fight for you because you never love anyone. Naomi's chest tightened. Adrian's face didn't change, but his eyes did. For a moment, he looked wounded. Then Adrian spoke. You're right. Vanessa blinked. Adrian continued. I don't love anyone. He looked toward Naomi. Until now. Naomi froze. The staff gasped. Vanessa's face twisted in rage. Adrian turned back to the officer. She is not being charged. She's leaving. The officer nodded quickly. Vanessa fought security as they grabbed her. She screamed at Naomi. You think you won. You think you won. Naomi trembled. Vanessa's screams echoed through the hall as she was dragged out. Adrian turned to Naomi. And then, shockingly, he lowered his head slightly. A billionaire. Apologizing. I'm sorry, he said. Naomi's eyes widened. Adrian's voice stayed low. I should have believed you immediately. Naomi couldn't speak. Adrian straightened and said loudly, for everyone. From now on, Naomi answers only to me. Naomi's knees almost gave out, because she realized Adrian had just painted a target on her back. A bigger target than ever. That night, Adrian calls Naomi to his private office and locks the door. Naomi's heart pounded as she stepped into Adrian's private office. It smelled like expensive cologne and old books. Adrian stood near the window. He didn't turn around at first. Do you know why I didn't believe you immediately? He asked. Naomi swallowed. No. Adrian turned slowly. His eyes were tired. Because I don't trust people. Naomi nodded. I can see that. Adrian walked to his desk and slid a folder toward her. Naomi opened it. A contract. Naomi frowned. What is this? Adrian's voice was calm. A personal agreement. Naomi blinked. For what? Adrian leaned forward slightly. For your safety. Naomi read it quickly. Triple pay. Shorter hours. Medical coverage. A private room. A guard assigned to her at all times. Naomi stared. This is too much. Adrian's eyes darkened. No. It's what you should have been paid from the start. Naomi swallowed. What's the catch? Adrian didn't smile. You don't leave without security. Naomi's chest tightened. And Adrian stepped closer. And you stay near me. Naomi's breath caught. Why? Adrian's jaw clenched. Because Vanessa is not done. Naomi whispered. She's gone. Adrian's eyes hardened. Vanessa doesn't leave. Naomi's hands trembled. I'm not trying to be in your life. Adrian stared at her. Then he said something terrifying. Then I'll fire you. Naomi froze. What? Adrian's voice was cold. If you refuse, you leave tonight. Naomi's eyes widened. Sir, Adrian stepped closer. His voice lowered. Because I can't let you walk out unprotected. Naomi's throat tightened. She stared at him. And she realized something. This wasn't just protection. This was Adrian trying to keep her close. Without admitting why, Naomi whispered, What do you want from me? Adrian's face hardened. Then his voice cracked slightly. I don't know. Naomi's heart squeezed. Because for the first time, Adrian looked lost. Naomi signed the contract. Not because she trusted him completely, but because she knew one thing. Vanessa would never stop. And Naomi needed protection. But as Naomi handed the contract back, Adrian's fingers brushed hers again. And this time, he didn't pull away. He held her hand for a second too long. Naomi's breath caught. Adrian's eyes locked on hers. And for the first time, Naomi felt it. Not danger. Not fear. Something else. Something that could ruin her if she wasn't careful. The next morning, Naomi receives a message. You're next. And it's not from Vanessa. Naomi woke up to her phone buzzing. A message. No number. No name. Just words. You're next. Naomi's blood ran cold. She immediately ran to Mr. Cole. Mr. Cole's face tightened when he saw it. This isn't Vanessa, he said quietly. Naomi's voice shook. Then who is it? Mr. Cole swallowed. Someone who hates Adrian. Naomi froze. Someone who hates Adrian? Naomi's heart pounded. Mr. Cole said, Adrian has enemies. Real ones. Naomi whispered, I didn't sign up for this. Mr. Cole's expression softened. No, you didn't. That night, Naomi was cleaning upstairs when she heard a crash. She froze. Then she followed the sound. It came from Adrian's room. Naomi hesitated. She knocked softly. Sir. No answer. Naomi pushed the door open slightly. Adrian stood with his back to her. The mirror was cracked. His fists were clenched. Naomi's heart tightened. Sir, are you okay? Adrian's voice was rough. Get out. Naomi should have left. But she didn't. She stepped inside. I heard something break. Adrian turned. His eyes were red. Naomi froze. She had never seen Adrian look like that. Not cold. Not powerful. Just hurt. Naomi whispered, You don't have to be alone. Adrian laughed once. Bitter. You think you know me. Naomi shook her head. No. I think you're hurting. Adrian stepped closer. My mother left me. Naomi's throat tightened. Adrian continued. I spent my whole life building this empire because I thought money would replace love. Naomi's eyes filled with tears. Adrian's jaw clenched. But every time I get close to someone, his voice lowered. They betray me. Naomi whispered. Not everyone. Adrian stared at her. Everyone. Naomi took a breath. Then she said softly, "Your mother didn't betray you." Adrian froze. Naomi continued, "She loved you." Adrian's eyes flickered with pain. Then Adrian whispered something that broke Naomi's heart. "Do you think I'm unlovable?" Naomi's chest tightened. She stepped closer, and for the first time, she touched him. Not romantically, just gently. Her hand rested on his arm. Naomi whispered, "No." Adrian stared at her hand like he didn't know what comfort felt like. Then, his phone rang. Adrian snatched it up. His expression changed instantly. Mr. Cole's voice came through, panicked. "Sir, Vanessa is back." Adrian's eyes narrowed. "Where?" Mr. Cole hesitated. "She's at the gate." He paused. "And she says she's pregnant." Naomi froze. Her world tilted. Adrian turned toward Naomi. His voice was low. "Don't move. Stay here." But Naomi couldn't, because she already knew. Vanessa was about to destroy everything. Naomi follows Adrian downstairs, and Vanessa walks in holding ultrasound papers, smiling like she already won. Okay, wait. Because from this moment on, everything changes. Adrian isn't just protecting Naomi anymore. And the scary part is, nobody knows the real reason. Is it love? Or is it guilt? Because Naomi reminds him of something he's been running from his whole life? And trust me, what happens next is where Naomi finally realizes the truth. Now, let's continue, because what happens next is unbelievable. Naomi followed Adrian downstairs even though he told her not to. Her legs felt heavy. Her chest felt tight. She didn't even know why she was following him. Until she realized. Because she cared. And that scared her more than Vanessa. Adrian opened the door. Vanessa stepped inside like she belonged there. She looked calmer than she should have. Like she had practiced this moment in the mirror. She smiled at Adrian. "Hi, baby." Adrian's face was stone. "You're not welcome here." Vanessa laughed. "You're going to throw out the mother of your child?" Naomi's stomach dropped. The staff froze. Mrs. Whitmore's eyes widened. Mr. Cole's face went tight. Adrian didn't move. "How far along?" he asked. Vanessa's smile widened. 2 months. Naomi's breath caught. 2 months? That meant Vanessa had been with Adrian recently. Naomi's chest tightened painfully. Vanessa pulled out a folder. Ultrasound images. Medical documents. She held them up like a trophy. Adrian stared at them without touching them. Vanessa stepped closer. "You can't deny it now." Adrian's jaw clenched. "Prove it." Vanessa smirked. "Oh, I will." Then Vanessa turned her eyes toward Naomi, and her smile became cruel. "Ah," she said softly. "Look at her face." Naomi felt her eyes burn. Vanessa walked toward Naomi slowly. "Did you think he'd choose you?" Vanessa whispered. Naomi didn't speak. Vanessa leaned in. "He doesn't marry maids." Naomi's throat tightened. Vanessa continued, louder so the staff could hear. "He uses them. Then he throws them away." Naomi's hands trembled. Adrian's voice snapped. "Vanessa, stop." Vanessa turned to him, eyes shining. "You don't get to tell me to stop anymore. I'm carrying your blood." Naomi felt sick. Vanessa stepped back and announced to the whole mansion, "Congratulations, everyone. Adrian and I are having a baby." The staff murmured. Naomi felt like she couldn't breathe. She turned and ran upstairs. Naomi locked herself in her room and fell onto the bed. Her tears came fast. She hated herself for crying. She hated herself for caring. She hated herself for believing for even 1 second that Adrian's protection meant something deeper. Then her door opened. Naomi sat up. Mr. Cole stepped inside quietly. His face was serious. Naomi wiped her tears quickly. "What do you want?" Mr. Cole hesitated. "I shouldn't be telling you this." Naomi's voice cracked. "Just say it." Mr. Cole swallowed. "That baby isn't Adrian's." Naomi froze. "What?" Mr. Cole stepped closer and lowered his voice. "I have proof." Naomi's heart pounded. "Then why is she here?" Mr. Cole's eyes darkened. "Because she's not here for Adrian." Naomi's breath caught. Mr. Cole whispered, "She's here for you." Naomi's blood ran cold. Naomi receives a message from an unknown number. "I'm coming to finish what I started." Naomi stared at the message until her vision blurred. "I'm coming to finish what I started." Her hands trembled. Her throat tightened. She tried to call Mr. Cole, but the call wouldn't go through. No signal. Naomi's heart pounded. Then she heard the door handle. Click. Naomi stood up fast. The door opened. Vanessa stepped in, smiling, and Naomi's blood turned to ice. Because Vanessa wasn't holding papers. She was holding a small blade. Not a kitchen knife. Not something dramatic. Something small enough to hide. Something meant for close damage. Naomi backed away. Ma'am, please. Vanessa locked the door behind her. Click. Naomi's breathing sped up. Vanessa walked closer slowly. You know what I realized? Vanessa whispered. Naomi's voice shook. What? Vanessa smiled. You're not even trying to steal him. Naomi swallowed. Vanessa continued. You're just existing. Vanessa's smile disappeared. And that's what makes you dangerous. Naomi shook her head. I don't want him. Vanessa laughed softly. Oh, Naomi. You don't get to choose what Adrian wants. Vanessa stepped closer. The blade caught the light. Naomi's body trembled. Vanessa whispered. I don't lose. Naomi's voice broke. Why are you doing this to me? Vanessa's eyes turned dark. Because he looked at you. Naomi froze. Vanessa continued, voice shaking with rage. He never looked at me the way he looked at you in that hallway. Naomi's heart pounded. Vanessa leaned in. You made him feel. Naomi whispered. I didn't mean to. Vanessa smiled. I know. Then Vanessa grabbed Naomi's wrist. Hard. Naomi cried out. Vanessa pulled Naomi toward the mirror. Look at yourself, Vanessa hissed. Naomi's eyes filled with tears. Vanessa pressed the blade lightly against Naomi's cheek. Not cutting. Yet. Vanessa whispered. Do you know how easy it is to make a poor girl disappear? Naomi trembled violently. Then, bang. A loud knock hit the door. Adrian's voice thundered. Open it. Vanessa froze. Naomi's heart leaped. Vanessa quickly stepped back, hiding the blade behind her. Adrian slammed the door again. Vanessa. Vanessa rolled her eyes and unlocked it. The door swung open. Adrian stood there. His eyes scanned Naomi. Her shaking hands. Her pale face. Then he looked at Vanessa. His voice was low and lethal. What are you doing? Vanessa smiled sweetly. Checking on your maid. Adrian stepped inside. Mr. Cole was behind him. Mr. Cole's eyes flicked to Naomi's arm. He saw the red marks. Adrian saw them too. Adrian's face darkened. Adrian's voice was cold. Get out. Vanessa laughed. You can't. I'm pregnant. Mr. Cole stepped forward and placed a folder on the desk. Adrian opened it. Vanessa's smile faded. Adrian flipped through proof. Photos. Messages. Dates. Vanessa with another man. Adrian looked up slowly. His voice was calm. Who is he? Vanessa swallowed. It's not what it looks like. Mr. Cole cut in. We already ran a DNA test. Vanessa froze. Mr. Cole continued. The baby isn't Adrian's. Silence. Vanessa's face turned white. Then she screamed. You set me up. Adrian didn't blink. His voice was ice. You lied. You tried to trap me. Vanessa's eyes flashed with hatred. She turned toward Naomi. This is your fault. Naomi whispered. I didn't do anything. Vanessa lunged. Adrian stepped in front of Naomi instantly. His voice exploded. Don't. Vanessa froze. Adrian leaned in close. If you ever touch her again. His voice dropped. You'll learn what fear really is. Vanessa's eyes widened. For the first time, Vanessa looked scared. Security dragged her out. But as she passed Naomi, Vanessa whispered, You think this is over? Vanessa smiled. It's just starting. The next day Naomi leaves the mansion, and her car is attacked. Adrian insisted Naomi go get the letter. You need to bring it today, he said. Naomi nodded. Her hands trembled. She didn't want to leave the mansion. Not after Vanessa's blade. Not after the threats. But the letter was the key. The truth. The closure Adrian deserved. Adrian assigned 2 guards. A black car waited. Naomi climbed in, nervous. The car drove smoothly at first. Naomi stared out the window, trying to breathe. She clutched her locket. She whispered to herself, Just get the letter. Just come back alive. Then Naomi noticed something. A car behind them. Not far. Following. Naomi leaned forward. Is that car following us? The guard checked the mirror. His face tightened. Yes. Naomi's blood ran cold. The car behind them got closer. The guard reached for his radio. Then, crash. A second car slammed into them from the side. Naomi screamed. The car spun. Glass shattered. Naomi hit her head. Her vision blurred. She heard shouting. Men yelling. Doors being ripped open. Naomi tried to move. A hand grabbed her. Naomi screamed. She kicked. She fought. But someone pressed a cloth over her mouth. A chemical smell filled her nose. Her body weakened instantly. Her eyes fluttered. The last thing she saw was a man's face. Not Vanessa. Not Adrian. A stranger. Then darkness swallowed her. When Naomi woke up, her head was pounding. Her wrists were tied. Her mouth was taped. She was in a dark room. Cold. Empty. Her breath came out shaky. She tried to scream. It came out muffled. Then she heard footsteps. A door creaked open. A man walked in. Tall. Wearing gloves. His face was half hidden. Naomi's body trembled. The man spoke calmly. Naomi. Naomi's eyes widened. How did he know her name? He crouched in front of her. You don't know me. He paused. But I know Adrian Blackwood. Naomi's heart pounded. The man smiled faintly. Adrian stole something from me. Naomi shook her head desperately. The man continued. And now I'm taking something from him. Naomi's eyes filled with tears. The man leaned in. You. Naomi shook violently. The man stood. Don't worry. You're not going to die. He tilted his head. Not yet. He walked out. Naomi sobbed. Then her phone lit up on the floor. A video call started. Naomi's eyes widened. Adrian's face appeared. His expression was terrifying. He looked like he'd lost his mind. Naomi, he whispered. Naomi tried to scream. Adrian's voice broke. Where are you? Then another face appeared beside Adrian. Vanessa. Smiling. Naomi's blood ran cold. Vanessa whispered into the camera. Hi, Naomi. She smiled wider. Miss me? Naomi's heart stopped. Vanessa said. Adrian, choose. Adrian's eyes widened. Vanessa's voice turned sweet and cruel. Your company or your maid? Naomi shook violently. Adrian's voice cracked. Vanessa, don't do this. Vanessa laughed. Oh, now you beg. Naomi sobbed. Adrian whispered. I'll give you anything. Vanessa's eyes glittered. Anything. Adrian nodded. Vanessa leaned closer. Sign over half your company. Naomi froze. Mr. Cole, standing beside Adrian, shook his head frantically. Adrian's hands trembled. Naomi shook her head violently. No, don't. But Adrian looked at Naomi and whispered, I won't let them hurt you. Vanessa smiled. Good boy. Vanessa ended the call. The screen went black. Naomi sobbed. And then she heard the man's voice outside. Prepare her. Naomi's blood ran cold. Naomi hears the kidnappers say, if Adrian doesn't sign, we send him a finger. Naomi's entire body shook. Her wrists hurt. Her mouth was dry. She couldn't stop crying. The door opened again. The man walked in with another person. A woman this time. The woman held a small medical kit. Naomi's eyes widened. The man spoke calmly. Adrian is deciding. Naomi shook her head desperately. The man smiled. If he loves you, he'll pay. Naomi tried to scream. The man crouched. You want to know something funny? Naomi stared at him. The man whispered, I don't even care about you. Naomi froze. The man continued, you're just the fastest way to break him. Naomi's breath caught. The man stood. Then he said something that made Naomi's blood run cold. And after we break him, he smiled. Vanessa will finish you. Naomi's eyes widened. So Vanessa didn't kidnap her alone. Vanessa partnered with someone else. Someone bigger. Someone who hated Adrian enough to risk prison. Naomi trembled violently. Then she heard it. Sirens. Shouting. Gunshots. The kidnappers froze. The man cursed. Move. Naomi's heart pounded. The door slammed open. Adrian stormed in like a demon. His suit was torn. His face was bruised. His eyes were red. He looked insane. Naomi. Naomi sobbed. Adrian rushed to her and ripped the tape from her mouth. Naomi gasped. Adrian. He untied her wrists with shaking hands. Naomi collapsed into his arms. He held her so tightly she could barely breathe. I'm here, he whispered. I'm here. Naomi sobbed. Adrian pulled back, checking her face, her arms. His hands trembled. His voice cracked. Did they hurt you? Naomi shook her head. No, but Adrian kissed her forehead. Thank God. Naomi clung to him. Then gunshots echoed again. Adrian shoved Naomi behind him instantly. Stay behind me, he growled. Naomi trembled. The man appeared in the doorway holding a gun. Adrian's eyes turned deadly. The man smiled. You came, Blackwood. Adrian's voice was low. Where is Vanessa? The man laughed. Oh, she's safe. He lifted the gun. But you? He aimed at Adrian. You're not. Adrian stepped forward. Naomi screamed. Adrian. The man fired. Adrian moved fast. Too fast. He pushed Naomi behind him. And the bullet hit Adrian. Naomi's scream ripped through the room. Adrian stumbled. Blood spread across his shirt. Naomi grabbed him. No. Adrian. Adrian's body jerked. He collapsed. Naomi sobbed over him. Her hands pressed against his wound. "Stay with me," she cried. "Please." Adrian's eyes fluttered. His voice came out weak. "Don't leave." Then his eyes closed. Naomi screamed. Mr. Cole burst in with security. The kidnappers fled. Naomi screamed again. "Help him." Adrian was lifted, rushed out. Naomi stumbled after them, sobbing. And somewhere in the distance, Naomi heard a woman laughing. Vanessa. At the hospital, Adrian's heart monitor goes flat. Naomi didn't remember the ride. Everything was blur. Lights. Voices. Sirens. Her hands were covered in Adrian's blood. She kept whispering, "Please don't die, please don't die." At the hospital, doctors rushed him away. Naomi tried to follow, but someone grabbed her. Mr. Cole. His face was pale. "Naomi," he said, voice shaking. "You need to breathe." Naomi's eyes were wild. "He can't die," she whispered. "He can't." Mr. Cole swallowed hard. "They're doing everything they can." Naomi collapsed into a chair. Her whole body shook. Minutes passed. Then more minutes. Then an hour. Naomi's heart felt like it was being squeezed. Finally, a doctor walked out. Naomi stood so fast, she almost fell. "Is he?" The doctor's expression was serious. "He's alive." Naomi sobbed instantly. The doctor continued. "But the bullet hit close. He lost a lot of blood." Naomi nodded frantically. "Can I see him?" The doctor hesitated. Only for a moment. Naomi walked into the room like she was walking into a nightmare. Adrian lay there pale, connected to machines. The billionaire, who once looked untouchable, looked fragile. Naomi sat beside him and held his hand. Her tears fell onto his knuckles. "I'm sorry," she whispered. "I'm sorry I came into your life." She squeezed his hand. "I didn't want any of this." Naomi leaned forward. "But please, don't leave me." For a long moment, nothing happened. Then Adrian's fingers moved. Naomi froze. She looked down. His hand squeezed hers. Naomi gasped. Then Adrian's eyes slowly opened. Naomi burst into tears. "Adrian." His voice was weak. "Naomi." Naomi leaned in. "I'm here. I'm here." Adrian stared at her. His eyes were softer than she'd ever seen. Then he whispered something that stunned her. "Marry me." Naomi froze. "What?" Adrian swallowed painfully. "I don't want to waste your time," he whispered. Naomi's heart pounded. "Adrian, you're hurt." Adrian's eyes held hers. "I'm a man of my word." Naomi's tears fell harder. Adrian's voice was barely audible. "I've spent my whole life thinking love was a weakness." He paused. "But you made me human." Naomi shook her head. "I'm just." Adrian squeezed her hand. "You're not just anything." Naomi sobbed. Adrian whispered, "Marry me. Today." Naomi's heart raced. She didn't know what to say. She didn't know how to breathe. But she knew one thing. She loved him. And she didn't want to lose him. Naomi nodded. "Yes," she whispered. "Yes." Adrian closed his eyes. A tear slid down his face. And Naomi realized. The cruel billionaire had just given her his entire heart. Then Mr. Cole rushed in. His face was tense. "Naomi, sir." Naomi looked up. "What?" Mr. Cole swallowed. "Vanessa is missing." Naomi's blood ran cold. Mr. Cole continued. "And the police can't find her." Naomi's chest tightened. Because Vanessa disappearing didn't mean she lost. It meant she was planning something worse. Mr. Cole whispers, "She's going to strike again at your wedding." Mr. Cole's warning sat in Naomi's chest like a rock. "She's going to strike again at your wedding." Naomi's throat tightened. "Then why are we doing this?" Naomi whispered. Adrian, pale and still healing, looked at her with a calmness that felt terrifying. "Because I'm done waiting," he said. Naomi's eyes filled with tears. "But what if she—" Adrian cut her off. "Naomi," he said firmly, "I promised you something." Naomi swallowed. Adrian's voice softened. "I promised I wouldn't waste your time." Naomi nodded slowly. Adrian continued. "And I promised I'm a man of my word." Naomi's hands trembled. She didn't know how a man could be so strong after almost dying. But Adrian wasn't standing because of pride. He was standing because of Naomi. That afternoon, Naomi stood in front of a small hospital chapel mirror. No wedding dress. No makeup team. No family crowd. Just a simple cream dress Mr. Cole had brought. Her hair was brushed softly. Her hands shook. Mrs. Whitmore stood behind her. The strict housekeeper looked Naomi in the mirror. "You're shaking," she said. Naomi whispered, "I never imagined this." Mrs. Whitmore's expression softened. "Neither did I." Naomi blinked. You don't hate me? Mrs. Whitmore scoffed. I don't hate you. I just don't trust fairy tales. Naomi looked down. Mrs. Whitmore continued. But I watched that man break when you were taken. She paused. That wasn't obsession. Mrs. Whitmore's eyes met Naomi's. That was love. Naomi's throat tightened. The chapel doors opened. Mr. Cole nodded. It's time. Naomi walked in. The chapel was small, quiet, warm light. Adrian stood at the front, still injured, but standing. His suit was perfectly tailored. His eyes locked on Naomi, and for the first time, he smiled. Naomi's heart cracked open. She walked toward him slowly. No music, no crowd, just truth. The officiant began. When it was time for vows, Adrian's voice was low but steady. I spent my whole life believing love was a lie, he said. Naomi's eyes filled with tears. Adrian continued. But you showed me loyalty exists. Goodness exists. He swallowed. And I will spend the rest of my life proving to you. His voice cracked. That you were never just a maid. Naomi sobbed. When it was Naomi's turn, she whispered. I was invisible my whole life. She looked at Adrian. And you were the first person who made me feel seen. Adrian's eyes shone. The rings were placed. The officiant smiled. You may kiss your bride. Adrian stepped closer. He kissed Naomi gently. And in that moment, Naomi felt like she stepped out of survival and into life. But as they pulled apart, Naomi saw something through the chapel window. A figure, standing outside, watching. A woman with long hair. A smile. Naomi's blood ran cold. Vanessa. Naomi's breath caught. Adrian didn't see her. Naomi couldn't move. Vanessa lifted her hand slowly and waved. Then she disappeared. Naomi's body trembled because she realized. Vanessa knew. Vanessa knew they were married. And now, she would come for blood. That night, Naomi wakes up to a notification. Billionaire marries his maid. Scandal exposed. Naomi's phone wouldn't stop buzzing. Messages, calls, notifications. She opened the first headline. Her stomach dropped. Billionaire marries his maid. Theft, lies, and a dead woman's secret. Naomi's hands trembled. Another headline. Inside the Blackwood mansion, staff claims new wife was a thief. Another. New wife connected to dead woman. Did she target him? Naomi's chest tightened. She felt sick. She looked at Adrian. He was sitting in a hospital chair, reading. But his eyes weren't reading. They were burning. Mr. Cole rushed in. His face pale. It's everywhere, he said. Vanessa leaked everything. Naomi whispered. But it's not true. Mr. Cole nodded. I know. Naomi's voice shook. Adrian's company. Mr. Cole cut her off. The board is meeting today. Naomi's blood ran cold. They want to remove him. Naomi's eyes widened. Because of me? Mr. Cole's expression was tight. Because they think Adrian has become unstable. Naomi's throat tightened. Adrian stood slowly. His face hardened. The softness Naomi had seen vanished. The billionaire returned. But this time, he wasn't cruel. He was furious. Adrian looked at Naomi. His voice was quiet. She's trying to destroy you. Naomi whispered, what do we do? Adrian's voice turned cold. We fight. At the board meeting, men in suits stared at Adrian like he was a scandal, not a CEO. One board member spoke. Adrian, marrying a maid weeks after breaking up with Vanessa. Another cut in. And now there are theft allegations, kidnapping drama, and rumors of manipulation. Adrian's eyes narrowed. That kidnapping was a crime. The board leader leaned back. You're emotional. Adrian's voice was ice. No, I'm awake. Then the screen turned on. A video played. Naomi's face appeared. Old footage. Her cleaning. Her locket. Her bending down. Then a voiceover. She planned this. She seduced him. She targeted him. Naomi's stomach dropped. Vanessa had edited it. Manipulated it. The board murmured. Then the board leader spoke. We're calling a vote. Naomi waited outside, shaking. Mrs. Whitmore stood beside her. You okay? She asked. Naomi whispered, no. The doors opened. Adrian walked out. His face unreadable. Naomi stood up fast. What happened? Adrian looked at her. And his voice was quiet. They voted to remove me. Naomi's heart shattered. Adrian's eyes held hers. Then he said something terrifying. Vanessa wanted war. He paused. She's going to get it. Naomi finally gets the letter, but it reveals a truth that could destroy Adrian forever. Naomi returned to the mansion under heavy security. The letter was still at the place her aunt kept it hidden. A box. Old, dusty, like it had been waiting for this moment. Naomi's hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was the envelope, yellowed with time. Naomi sat on the floor. Her heart pounded, because she knew this letter would either heal Adrian or break him completely. Naomi unfolded it. The handwriting was delicate, tired, and full of love. Naomi read silently, and her face went pale, because the letter revealed something Naomi never expected. My son, if you're reading this, it means I'm gone, and I need you to know the truth. The man who raised you is not your father. Naomi's breath caught. Her hands trembled. The letter continued. He stole you from me. He threatened me. He made me disappear. I tried to return, but he wouldn't let me. If you ever discover who you really are, run. Naomi's chest tightened. Adrian wasn't abandoned. He was stolen. His entire identity was built on a lie. Naomi wiped tears from her face. She ran to Adrian. She had to tell him before Vanessa did. Adrian sat alone in his office. The mansion felt darker now, like it was holding secrets in the walls. Naomi stepped in quietly. Adrian. He looked up. His eyes softened when he saw her. Naomi. Naomi held up the letter. His expression changed instantly. That's it, he whispered. Naomi nodded. Adrian stood slowly, like his legs were weak. He took the letter with trembling hands. He read, and as he read, his face broke. His hands shook. His jaw clenched. His eyes filled with pain. Naomi whispered, I'm sorry. Adrian looked up at her. His voice cracked. My whole life, he swallowed hard, was a lie. Naomi stepped closer. But you're still you, she said. Nothing changes who you are. Adrian laughed bitterly. It changes everything. Naomi's heart pounded. Then Adrian's phone rang. He answered. His expression hardened. Mr. Cole's voice came through, urgent. Sir, Vanessa has the letter. Naomi froze. Adrian's eyes widened. How? Mr. Cole's voice shook. She broke into Naomi's room. We found the lock damaged. Naomi's blood ran cold. Adrian's face turned deadly. Mr. Cole continued. She's threatening to release it online, unless you give her the company. Naomi's knees weakened. Adrian stared at Naomi. Then he whispered, she wants to destroy my identity. Naomi whispered, we can't let her. Adrian's eyes turned cold. No, he said. Then he stood. And we won't. Naomi walks into the boardroom and says, I have proof Vanessa has been blackmailing this company for years. The boardroom was full, tense, hostile. Adrian sat at the head like a king without a crown. The board members looked at him like he was already finished. Then the doors opened. Naomi walked in. Silence. One board member scoffed. Oh great, the maid. Naomi's hands trembled, but she forced herself to stand tall, because she wasn't invisible anymore. Naomi looked around and said clearly, I have proof Vanessa has been blackmailing this company for years. Murmurs erupted. Adrian's eyes flicked to Naomi. Mr. Cole stepped in behind her with a folder. Naomi continued. Vanessa has been using Adrian's name to threaten investors, steal deals, and force contracts. The board leader frowned. That's a serious accusation. Naomi nodded. It is. Mr. Cole placed the folder on the table. Inside were messages, emails, audio recordings, financial trails, Vanessa's signature all over it. One board member's face went pale. Wait, this is real. Another whispered. She's been doing this for years. Naomi's voice steadied. And she framed me for theft. There's footage. She also arranged my kidnapping. The room exploded. The board leader stood. This is... The doors swung open again. Vanessa walked in, smiling, wearing a designer coat, like she was walking into a fashion show. She clapped slowly. Ah, Vanessa said. Look at the maid playing hero. Naomi's heart pounded. Vanessa stepped forward. You think you can beat me with paperwork? Vanessa's eyes slid toward Adrian. You already lost. They removed you. Adrian's voice was ice. Vanessa, it's over. Vanessa smiled wider. No. Then Vanessa pulled out her phone. And I have the letter. Naomi froze. Vanessa's eyes glittered. Do you want me to post it? Do you want the world to know your life is fake? The board members gasped. Adrian's jaw tightened. Naomi's heart raced. Then Naomi stepped forward and said something that shocked everyone. Post it. Vanessa blinked. Naomi continued. Because I already gave a copy to the police. Vanessa froze. Naomi's voice steadied. And I already gave the board the truth. Vanessa's smile cracked. Naomi looked at her. You don't have power anymore. Vanessa's face twisted. You're lying. Mr. Cole spoke calmly. We're not. Then the doors opened again. Police officers stepped in. Vanessa's eyes widened. The officer spoke. Vanessa, you are under arrest for fraud, blackmail, and involvement in kidnapping. Vanessa stepped back, panicked. No, no. She looked at Adrian, desperate. Adrian, tell them to stop. Adrian stared at her coldly. You chose this. Vanessa's eyes turned toward Naomi. Pure hatred. As she was handcuffed, Vanessa leaned toward Naomi and whispered, If I can't have him. Her eyes burned. Nobody will. Naomi's blood ran cold. Vanessa was dragged out screaming. The board sat in silence. Adrian's eyes stayed on Naomi. Then the board leader spoke quietly. We were wrong. Adrian didn't respond. He stood up and walked toward Naomi. He stopped in front of her. His voice was low. You saved me. Naomi shook her head. I just told the truth. Adrian's eyes softened. That's what saved me. That night, Naomi receives one final message. I'm not done. Naomi couldn't sleep. Even with Vanessa arrested, fear still lived in her chest. Because Vanessa's last words weren't normal. They weren't anger. They were a promise. Naomi sat in bed, staring at her phone. The message stayed on the screen. I'm not done. Naomi swallowed hard. Then she heard footsteps. Adrian walked in quietly. He looked tired. Not physically, emotionally, like a man who had fought his whole life. Naomi stood up. Adrian. Adrian walked toward her. His eyes softened. He reached out and held her face gently. I'm sorry, he whispered. Naomi blinked. For what? Adrian's jaw tightened. For the pain you endured because of me. Naomi's eyes filled with tears. I chose to stay. Adrian shook his head. You shouldn't have had to be brave just to survive. Naomi swallowed. What happens now? Adrian stared at her, and his voice was steady. Now I keep my word. Naomi's breath caught. Adrian continued. I told you I wouldn't waste your time. He paused. I told you I'm a man of my word. Naomi's tears fell. Adrian reached into his pocket. Naomi froze. He pulled out a small box. Naomi blinked. Adrian, we're already married. Adrian nodded. I know. He opened the box. Inside was a new ring. Bigger, but not flashy. Elegant. Meaningful. He took it out and slid it onto her finger. This isn't a ring to show the world, he whispered. This is a ring to remind you. He looked into her eyes. That you're safe now? Naomi sobbed. Adrian pulled her into his arms. He held her tightly, and Naomi realized something. This man, who once looked cruel, wasn't cruel by nature. He was cruel by pain, and love was changing him. Weeks later, Naomi's life transformed. Adrian paid off her debts. He enrolled her in school. He gave her a home, not a room. He gave her a name, not a title. The staff no longer called her Maid. They called her Mrs. Blackwood. And Adrian, he changed too. He smiled more. He spoke softer. He protected his people. Because Naomi taught him something money never could. Love isn't weakness. Love is power. And as for Vanessa, her trial was public. Her fall was humiliating. The world finally saw her cruelty. And the last time Naomi saw her, Vanessa was in handcuffs, eyes empty. She didn't smile. She didn't threaten. She just stared, like someone who finally realized. She lost. Naomi stood beside Adrian in their home. Adrian kissed her forehead and whispered, You were never just my maid. Naomi smiled through tears. And you were never just my billionaire. Adrian held her close. I promised I'd change your life, he said. And I did. Naomi leaned into him. And you changed mine too. And that's how the cruel billionaire became a husband. And the maid became the woman he would spend his whole life choosing. So tell me in the comments, do you think Adrian truly loved Naomi from the beginning? Or did he only realize her worth when he almost lost her? And if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss more dramatic stories like this.